Okay, so I'm going to do lesson 9-6, the distance and midpoint formulas, and let's see how this one works today. So the distance formula is set up as the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. You have the coordinates up here, 8, 4, and -6, -2. And what you're going to do is you're going to make sure that you label them. Alright, so x1 is 8, y1 is 4, x2 is -6, y2 is -2. You substitute them in, add them together, go plus minus. You get -14 and -6. You square root those, and you get 196 plus 36, add them together, and I didn't mean to square root this. And I'm going too fast here anyways. Now you square root them, before it was square it, and you get 15.2. Okay, so that's basically the distance formula. Now, here's a quick question for you. Just write down A, -4, 5, and B, 3, -9, and go ahead and solve that. Press pause, and then you can move forward. Actually, I'm going to give you the answer here so that you guys can check to see that you're doing this right, since you have to actually do the work next. Okay, so here's the answer. That's what you should have got. So if you got 15.7, you're on the right track using the distance formula. Example number 2. Now, what they want you to do is you have to use the distance formula. It's like 3 separate segments. 1, 2, 3. They want you to find the perimeter. So it's going to take a little bit of work. You have to do the formula for that, right? So 3 times you have to actually use the distance formula. Is what you're going to have to do. So here's for the x to y spot. Okay, you substitute those numbers in. So I'm just going to go through this quickly. It's the same idea. Substituting them in, making sure that you label them x1, y1, x2, y2. Get to that habit. 3 squared plus 3 squared is 9 plus 9. People might think, oh, the answer must be 9. No, it's not. You have to add 9 plus 9 together and get 18. Okay, so that's the first one. They're going to deal with the final answer later at the end. So here's yz. You do all that work. Okay, get the idea. You can pause it if you want to look at this and see how it works. And you go 1 plus 49, and you get square root of 50. Okay, and then the third one, you go through it again. Same idea. Put the numbers in, punch it out. There it is. Pause it if you need to see it, and you get square root of 20. Now the last part of this is you have to change square root each of one of those numbers. You get 4.243, 7.071, and 4.472. And you go ahead and add them up and round to the nearest tenth. That 8 makes that 7 and 8, and there's your answer. Here's an example of one that you could do, but it's going to basically be just draw this out, okay, and find. So you set up this one first, find this distance, then find this distance, then find this distance, all right? Go ahead and do that. Pause the video before you actually look at the final answer and see if you get this answer. Here it is. The perimeter is about 21.3 units. I'm going to leave that up today so that you can check to see if you're actually doing it correctly. Okay? But you need to show your work. Okay, now we're back to the coordinates of the midpoint. Now it's going to get a midpoint formula. Basically, we want to find the middle of these 2 points. So where is the middle of those 2 points? We're going to use the coordinates, -2 and 4, 8 and 2. We're going to make sure that we label them, x1, y1, x2, y2. So watch what happens. Here we go. There's your formula. You want to write that formula down. x1 plus x2 divided by 2. Makes sense. You take the one x, the other x, add them together, divide by 2. That's going to be the middle of it. Same thing with the y. y1 plus y2, divide by 2, and get the answer. So here are our numbers. x1, x2, y1, y2. -2 plus 8 is 6. 4 plus 2 is 6. So 6 over 2 twice is going to give you 3 over 3. Okay? And that would be your turn. Just go ahead and write down this real quick, and write down the formula for midpoint and see if you can solve it. And again, I'm going to give you the answer so you can check to see that you're getting it right, so that you can go on and do page 469, number 10 to 28 at home tonight. All right? Perfect. Here's the answer. So the midpoint of those coordinates is 1, -1. If you're getting that, you're on the right track. And that, my friends, is the end of lesson 9.